Hi there, it's Simone. I am here today because I have been very inspired by some of the YouTubers that I am watching. John Rush, Planning with John, Ange from Rainbow Ange or YarnNYarns YouTube channel. And they have been doing Vlogtober, and I really love just watching them talking about random stuff. And that's what I wanted to do. I actually had planned to hop on and film myself chatting about things while I was crocheting. However, I wanted to plan, and so I thought, well, this is not planning. This is memory keeping. So I thought I would just hop on, put the camera on here, and then talk while I was filling this in. But I can already tell that that is definitely not a good idea because I can't concentrate and do things while I talk. So maybe what I can do instead is go through all of my stamps. That's another thing that I wanted to do because I really want to stamp in my planner. I have already set up next week, kind of. I still need to put things in. And then I can also talk to you about my planner struggles maybe while I am looking through them. So I have them in two different bins. This one. Wow. And this one. These are all the 4x6 stamps. Wow, so sorry. And these are all the ones that are smaller than 4x6. I have some acrylic blocks here, smaller ones. I have really very little wooden stamps. I just never really got into them. And then I'm looking to see which ones I want to really keep and use and which ones are just okay to give away. I have some of them I have already taken apart and put together differently, like this one. I just kept maybe one or two from a set and the rest I destashed, but still stamping in a book, like when you're the way that I usually plan, or let me rephrase this because this has turned not into planning but more into journaling. I use this to visualize the week. I make a to-do list and all the things, but then last week I started putting my to-dos, into this pocket notebook because I had noticed that my journaling had taken over, which I'm not really mad about. I really like using this as a journal. I have been for a long time, but the to-dos on the daily pages, just sometimes I had an idea in mind that what I wanted to write, and so I was cautious to use up too much space. I still use it to work through thoughts and thinking. I just don't use it as a kind of daily to-do list, like this. And I'm really enjoying that this is so small, that this is so not very it doesn't take a lot of time. I don't decorate. I'm trying to resist the urge to add some washi tape or so, but if I'm going to add some washi tape at some point, that's totally fine. I just don't want this or I don't want to put any expectations on myself, or this notebook to put any expectations on me. Well, my hands are super dry. It's fall, and I'm working with a lot of chlorine stuff at work, so I need to really make sure, and we have to wash our hands all the time, sanitizing due to COVID. So I really need to make sure that I also use lotion. But yeah, so I really enjoy this. I'm still trying to figure out a way where I can put my weekly to-do list. I like Instagram posts down here. That's totally fine, but this maybe I'll just add it onto a post-it so that I can move it along. It's okay. You know, it's like sometimes I'm pressuring myself into these things where I think I need to know exactly how this is going. But in fact, I don't. Being in such a transitional stage is fine as well. I absolutely enjoy this. I sit down every night and go through this and add what we did. And then I just bring this along and cross off what I got done, and think about all the things that I need to do the next day. And then wow, my video got cut off and I don't really know why. Maybe my timer went off. Does a video on your phone cuts out when your timer goes off? I don't know. So what I was saying is that I'm just crossing off, and then I'm planning the next day, which is something that I fell off during the pandemic, but it's really a great thing to do. I take this and my amazing stamp, which is the best. I feel so cool when I use this. And then I just stamp the date, and then at night this takes about maybe 10 minutes. Maybe I need to either bring you along one day so that you can see how long it takes, or I have to time it so I can see how long it takes. I just sit down, I recap the day with stickers and writing it in, and then I look at all of my to-dos and cross off what I got done, move it to either the next day when I know that I can get it done the next day, or I move it back here. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this weekly to-do list. Maybe I will add a post-it note here so that I can move it along to the days. So yeah, I'm not sure about that yet. I'm getting the weekly supplement from the Hobonichi store, which is so stupid. I had one for 2020, and 3 weeks ago I sold it because I didn't use it. And now it would be really cool to see how big it is and to see if it actually works. Yeah, that's not happening because I already sent it off a long time ago. Yeah, so what else did I want to talk about? I think I came from the stamping thing. Yeah, so it's really hard to bring all this that I shared along with me and stamp. So I'm thinking of maybe adding stamps earlier, like now when I set up the week, or I usually also on the weekends just sit down and add some. Why is there no journaling on here? I have no clue, but I will get to this later. So I have put down my weekend goals yesterday, and then I usually sit down and just add color to the pages. I love the sound. I love the way the color, when you use a lot wet watercolors and you use them with a lot of water, it takes a long time to dry. And I know I could use a heat tool. I don't have one, and I don't want to use my hair dryer, but I just love the way these colors dry. The water pools here, and then it gives this, looks like a water stain on a wooden desk or something. Yeah, and so I'm just trying different things for here. I use this, and so that's what I do on the weekends when I set up, kind of like prepare for the next week. And then so I could add stamping right then and there. I don't know. yet. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to purchase an A5 ring planner to go along with my planning. I have used a standard size notebook as a reference notebook, which I use. What do I put in there? Birthdays, wish list, my weekly and monthly review process, routines. What a long word. I also put in ideas for presents, all the lists, kind of the collections from a bullet journal are in my reference notebook so that I can refer to them. That's why it's called a reference notebook. And it doesn't matter what kind of planner I use, what size the planner is, and especially when I noticed that that is not feasible for me, or I don't want to do this, write lists over and over again. When my book, my bullet journal, or whatever the planner that I'm using is done, because some of those things just are valid longer than a year, like the birthdays, somebody's birthday that I'm trying to celebrate and congratulate them on is not going away after a year. Same with reoccurring tasks and cleaning lists. Or I had in one of my earliest setups, I had a master list for each room in our house on what things needed to be cleaned in different intervals. I want that list back. And I didn't rewrite it that one time. I just ripped it out of the book, so I have it still, but I'm not referencing it because it's not the right size. Then when I want to put projects in there, so things that I need to do in order to finish a certain project, and those lists that can be removed. And when my wish list is changing, I can remove that too. YouTube video ideas, someday maybe lists. These things change frequently, but when I have them in a bound traveler's notebook, I cannot change the list easily. I have to rip out the page, or I have to glue something over, or I have to redo the whole book. And that's just, that's lazy me. I don't know why I never thought of using a ring planner for that before, but that's where I'm at now. I'm also thinking of, I think what's really important, just with what's going on right now. So there's fires, there's an election coming, which we don't really know the outcome yet. The COVID situation, so there is always the chance, and that's what I mean, it's not there when there is not wildfires and when there's not COVID and all those things, but it comes back to the forefront that something can happen to any one of us, especially my husband and I. And if my husband has an accident, who do I call at his work? I need to know. He is in charge of our finances. He's taking care of all the things, most of the things. So I need to know where, I need to know the passwords, and I need to know what to do, and where we have certain things, what banks we are at. I know that, but just, more detail than just the bank name, or more details that to know where is his 401k, all those things. I think would be really good to have. Also, in case something happens to me, he knows if I find that thing, I have to go to that page, and then I know who to contact at her workplace, where her YouTube password, all those things could be there, so that he knows where to find the passwords, that kind of situation. So I want to add that too. I'm also, yeah, these things I feel need to be in that reference notebook. And I thought if I have that, I could also use that for my weekly planning. I don't need to have an extra planner. I was really intrigued by the Nolte Listy. That's an A5 Slim, very similar to the Jibun Techo that I used in 2019. But I'm not really sure that I want to write in my to-dos into the weekly pages. So I don't really think I need to do that, especially when I'm enjoying having my to-dos in here right now. It would be kind of redundant. And so I don't really need to invest that money. I can always save that idea for a later year and use that then. I'm not fixed on using a certain planner forever. I think that's kind of like when this is also your hobby, change is really exciting. And so let's just go through the things. I really like the numbers down here, and so I'm really hesitant, even though it's this was probably more of a Christmas stamp that was from a Coco Daisy kit. So, but I do like this, and I think it's not taking up a lot of space. I should probably get rid of other things, and this is also a really nice thing to have, especially if I'm thinking about moving into this size. I could put this into the new month, but what for? It doesn't show. This is just a 1 through 31. Could be a tracker, but I'm not a tracking person, so I guess I'm going to put this aside, but I'm leaving this one here. Just putting it up here. Is this still in frame? Not really. So I'm just gonna take all of those out. Those are alphabet stamps, and I think what I love alpha stamps, and they're really, so versatile. This is, wow, look at this. This has gotten so much use. There's even the numbers missing. This is a Coco Daisy stamp, and I think the numbers are either they're Doris Sander or Arlie, probably Arlie. I have used this a lot when I was on the Coco Daisy team, and I could still use it. What? Oops. Where's this one go? Sunday. Oh, that's from a different stamp set. 5 goes here. 27. Again, I'm definitely going to keep this one, even though I'm not using it right now. This one is special. My friend Anna designed it. She's Kaffeekan Anna on Instagram, and I think on YouTube as well. So I'm definitely not going to get rid of this one. Not going to get rid of this one. I love, love, love this one. I would have loved to receive a day of the week stamps like those. Those just were amazing. I'm keeping this one. What is this one? This is another Monday through Sunday sticker stamp set, and I think this one is as well. I put over here. I liked that one too, but I'm not using this enough, so I'm going to get rid of this one. This Paint Strokes Days of the Week stickers, and then this one is an Studio L2E sticker stamp set. I think I can also get rid of those. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those stickers. Maybe I'm just going to include those into my giveaways. Oh, those numbers, those were the Coco Daisy numbers. And this is the alpha set that Anna designed. That was cool too. I loved that one as well. Then another Monday through Sunday stamps. This is this from Coco Daisy? Yes, this is Coco Daisy, but this one is Kelly Perky. This one was one of the first stamp sets that I actually owned. I love those, and these are very similar but a bit bigger, so both definitely stay. I liked this one. I like plan A, plan B, who, what, when, where. It's so strange. I'm not ready to get rid of lots of those stamps. I'm ready to give those away. Definitely not giving those away. Oh, there's another stamp set with those. No, those are staying. So there's lots of things that I have that I don't want to get rid of, especially when it comes to alpha stickers, stamps. Ooh, this is kind of my style right now, so I really like this one too. And then there's this stamp set as well, which I'm also not going to get rid of. The things that I might get rid of are hidden more in here. Not this one though. This is Simon and Betty. This is a stamp set from that Doris Sander designed for the tiny planner. I use those so much. Maybe I can add those into my Smile is Friday, Like a Boss. Oh, there's these. These are hourlies. That's cool. I'm not sure if I want to keep this or not. I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you use lots of stamps in your planner? I'm so torn. Gone. This one I had for years. I really love this one, but I haven't, as you can see, I haven't even stamped with this one except for the food coma one. Love them made with love one. Weekend goals. I could, maybe I should do with my stamps, should do the same thing with my stamps as I do with my and this is, you know, this is super cool. And those are especially great. Love with all your heart, February, remember. I think I'm going to get rid of this one. If anyone wants the monster, let me know. The best of times, this was my happy place, just a thought, deep breath. Like, you know, give those stamps a chance as well as I did with, like, divide them up into this is good for November, and then this is good for December, and then if I don't use this, I'm giving it away. I had to have this stamp. This is just so cool. I'm glad I got it. This one is Happiness Is. What is this? Gather together, get outside, go. This one is another one of my very favorite stamp sets ever, from Coco Daisy as well. This one is from Kelly Perky, San Francisco. I think I haven't really used this one at all, so going. And then this one is one of those that I took apart and just added several. Really like this one. Live in the sunshine, swim the sea, drink the wild air. And then this one says special moments, things to do today, this week, this month. Then this is texture stamps, live, love, create, our life captured. This one is cool as a texture stamp. So again, I'm really, this one I love too. I'm really thinking of just dividing them up into my binder as I did with the with the what did I say? I'm keeping this one. There's another Simon. This was my first Simon stamp ever. Be filled with joy. Yeah, I'm thinking of putting, and that's what I'm going to do. This one is more of a travel stamp, field notes, travel stories, weekend adventures, bring on the adventures. Also, what is really a great idea, maybe stamping those on sticker paper and then having them ready. Love this. Goals. Oh, weekend goals. I'm thinking about weekend goals. That's what I'm just going to do. Autumn. I should use this now, and I should use this one now, and I should use this one now. I should use this one now. So I guess these are the ones that I'm using right now. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to divide them into the rotation. Oh, and then these are Citrus Twist Kit stick stamps. I ordered them. Can you see how many I used in here? Not very many. Yeah. This one I used a lot. This one is a currently stamp set again. Wow, Explore. This one was one of my first ones as well. This is Studio Calico, and this one is Studio Calico as well. And then what is here? Where's the 3 coming from? Life is at the Park. This one I got from Anna. These are all the social media icons. This is a 1, 2, 3 list. And then this one. Oh, okay. Then I have, this one is a Christmas stamp that my sister sent me. And I have this one I got from London Gifties, and this as well. And this one is a German one that says Kvoitma, which means this is Bavarian. It says that I like this. Then I have these 2 Hobonichi stamps. I have used them, but also not enough. I'm going to get rid of those 2. And I made this one, was one of the first art projects that I ever made. This is foam, craft foam. And then you can see I just added this to some cardboard and I cut it out. And I actually made, stamped this on textiles and used this as, I made my son a shirt, a crocodile pajamas. Then I have this one right here. This one says for you. Love this one. I need to use this on Happy Meal. And this is the last one. This is an S, sheep, for me. Then I have, oh, I remember this. This also is a Studio L2E School Reminders early release. Yep, then also not getting rid of this one for sure. But then again, when would I ever use this again? Oh, I could use it in the class party, volunteer, book order, half day, snow day, no school. Still keeping this for a while. I'm gonna put those back. Okay, so there wasn't a lot of actual stamping involved, right? Yeah, but I'm really... This stamp is one of my most favorite ones, so... So what I still need to find out is which ink I'm going to use, and I have actually moved. I did an ink testing in the Hobonichi weeks, and what's this one? Stays on. That is so interesting. So the VersaFine goes, what's this one? Color Theory is not a Memento, is bleeding through, and then the VersaMagic. So the chalk inks are fine. This one is Stays On, is one of the, I don't know. What are you eating, Maui? Kann ich mal sehen? Wo kaufst du schon wieder drauf rum? Darf ich mal gucken? Oh. Ah, cool. Spuck's aus. I'm just going to try and see how that works on here now. Where's my mushy roomie? Okay, did I lose it? Here. Love it. And this one again, it ghosts a little, but it doesn't bleed through. There's a leaf. I need to clean those later. Here. What's really interesting about this ink is it dries really quickly onto the stamp. So I need to, yeah, make a decision really quickly. And you can see again, here it is. You can see it, but it's not very obvious. Let me just let the cat outside. Here, Maui, komm, raus mit dir. And I think another thing I really want to do is add this stamp right here. So because that's what I'm doing right now. So I should actually be using this because it's so hard to see. So I can show you the difference in. Yay! Again, you can see it through, especially when you hold up against the light, but when you put it down, it's barely visible. So that is cool. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to end the video now, even though I'm like didn't really do anything. Because it's half an hour, and I think that's enough for a vlog. I'm trying to do this kind of as a weekend thing, maybe Sundays. I really want to try face-to-face, sitting there and crocheting, talking about things. Then I'm not getting distracted. But for now, that's where I'm at, and I hope to see you soonish, and let's see if we can establish a rhythm, and maybe I can go all the way through Vlogtober and Vlogmas. So it's a combination. It's a weekly Sunday, hey, what's up, I'm still alive vlog. Let me know how you're doing. I'm really enjoying chatting with you like this, yeah, see you soonish. Bye.